Don't forget about your fur babies. If you have fur babies and you know that there may be challenges as far as feeding them in the future, if you can, little by little, put food aside for them. And if there are things that they like, whether they're treats, wet food, or dry food, maybe store those so that if you find yourself in dire need or going through rough times, you already know that you have food for your fur baby. Because we're responsible for them just like our children. And I'm not saying, don't get into it with me about whether pets are children. I'm the mother of two amazing children and now I have a fur baby. I love them. All right. So I'm not going to get into an argument as to not comparing pets to children. But what I'm saying is that if they are dependent on you, then it's up to you to provide food for them, especially if they've been domesticated and they are not keen to the hunting and gathering their own food if they were in a situation. And if you find yourself in a situation where you have to leave your home for warming centers, for safety purposes, don't forget your pets. Don't leave them in a home that's locked. The likelihood of them being able to fend for themselves decreases. It'd probably be better if you let them outside because at least they have a chance of survival, being found. But most importantly, try to find those centers that may accept pets or find out if there are any places that are accepting with pets in need. Fleece blankets. This is something that I feel is a necessity for me during cold months. I put this as a layer in my sheets. When I'm camping, I use a fleece blanket. I wrap myself in it like a taco. If I ever had to sleep on an air mattress, especially when it's cold in the home or cold in the environment, having the fleece blanket between myself and the air mattress makes a huge difference because all that air circulating would just be getting cold and you won't really be able to maintain body heat, or I found that I haven't, unless I lay a layer either beneath the air mattress, and sometimes that's not even enough, beneath myself and layer again on top of me. I find that my own body heat generates better if I'm unclothed. So that is your preference. For me, if I'm, for instance, sleeping out in cold weather conditions and I have a sleeping bag, I always put my clothing at the foot of my sleeping bag so that they can stay warm and they're not as freezing in the morning when I have to get out or tiptoe to the porta john. Also, making sure that you're monitoring your body temperature if you do use fleece because it does warm up rather quickly. The last thing you want to do is allow yourself to be sweating in a cold environment. That sweat chills on you, then you'll have additional challenges and you don't want that. It's a great time right now to take inventory in your home and of your safety equipment to determine what is needed, if anything, to be restocked. In a first aid kit, make sure that you have access and you know where your flashlights are, your batteries if you need those. You can also, if you have a Jackery battery or any type of power device, make sure that those are powered. If you have solar panels, consider that there may be a day where if there's an overcast, you may not get a lot of sun. So you want to have an alternative method if you are in need of power. I think that when things are challenging, it's a good time to unplug. So I'm going to only use my power bank for essentials. If you find yourself in a home and it's freezing cold, you want to try to minimize the loss of your body heat. Wrapping your hair, putting something on top of your head, making sure your feet are warm if possible, especially when you think about babies, people that are not able to manage for themselves, those that may have a disability or those that are aging. They may need extra support and attention. So you want to make sure if they don't have that ability to make those decisions for themselves to dress appropriately for the weather, you want to make sure that you're assisting them during those challenging times. If you find yourself in your home and there's no heat, one of the things that you can do if you don't have a fireplace is if you happen to have a tent, you can pitch a tent inside of your home. Making that extra barrier of protection may help. Sleeping inside of that tent may cut off some of that cold air and keep you pretty equipped with a cozy spot. Also, if you find that there's a room that doesn't have a huge draft in it, like a room that can be closed off, heating that room and keeping that as a warm spot with maybe an electric heater if your gas is off, or if you find that you don't have any ability to heat your home. Alternatively, just keeping your body heat going in that small area with that door closed may help. If you have a home that's not winterized and you find that there's a draft near the windows, there are items that are sold at the major stores, home repair stores, that allow you to put a layer of plastic. And I think you can use a hair dryer to somewhat shrink wrap that plastic around the windows. Don't seal your home to the point where you can't have any oxygen, but if you do need to create a little extra barrier between yourself and the windows that may be leaking or seeping in cold air, that's an option. If you have the ability to purchase, a lot of times those curtains that are very thick and heavy, those blackout curtains, they also add a layer that can help protect you from the elements. If you find that there are drafts around your door, you can use different items at the base of the door. You can also use barriers along the perimeter of the door to keep those cold, chilly winds out. These are just a few of my ideals that I've used in the past, that I have in the back of my mind if I need them. I don't operate in fear or lack, but I want to be prepared for every single thing. Also, be mindful of, again, your neighbors that may not be able to get out and get some of those items, those that may be homebound. If you know someone that has limited mobility or limited access, if you run into the grocery store, check on your neighbor and see if they need anything, if they're needing you to make a run for them, or if you have excess or surplus in your home, share them with someone that may be in need. Maybe two families can come together and with all their ingredients, make a wonderful, bountiful stew, meal, casserole, something that will be helpful. I think during these times that are coming up, we're going to have to be resourceful. We're going to have to know where we can go if there's a need for support and assistance. And if you don't have the ability to share with someone financially or tangibly to feed the family, if you know of resources for food banks and things such as that, don't hesitate to share that information. And if you're going to one, see if there's anyone in your neighborhood that needs a ride. And share, again, resources, knowledge, positive energy, and support during those times. I think that's it. If there's anything that I think of that I haven't put in this video, I may make a part 3. But for now, that's it. Hope these tips and tricks help you, and stay warm.